Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Watch Darius TV. I'm back with another review, and this one is of P Valley, Season 2, Episode 2, 7 Pounds of Pressure. If you like this episode, if you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, share the video. You already know. So, let me start off my review with saying so this episode started off with they're auditioning for new girls coming into the Pink strip club and stuff like that. Different girls, auditioning and stuff like that, showing their skills, even though some of them are dudes. I wasn't expecting that. Yeah. But anyway, Mercedes thinks about her glory days while she's watching some of these girls dance and stuff like that. I think she may feel like her time is running out. She may not have a whole lot of time left to be doing stripping. She already sort of talked about that in the first season when she says that after a certain age, that she, was getting too old. She wanted to have her final dance, but of course, we know what happened in the finals in last season. That was kind of cut short. But Mercedes and Autumn, they pretty much have a fight over who gets hired. And there's this new girl that gets hired called Big Bone, I think it is. Yeah, that's her name, Big Bone. So there's a new girl gets hired, and she can't really dance well, but she's going to be coached by Mercedes, who doesn't like to consider herself to be a coach, because I guess it makes it feels like she is sort of retired, and now she just has to help everybody else out build their careers as strippers and stuff like that. So yeah. So I guess in this season, Mercedes is sort of realizing that she doesn't have a whole lot of time left in this, modeling and not modeling, but strip club industry. Derek wants Diamond in jail for the fight that they had in last season. So Derek, he just completely just hates Diamond. He really wants to throw him in jail. But then he has a talk with the sheriff, and the sheriff also says that he would also have to go to jail too. Also, so he's kind of in a weird spot. He wants to totally get him out of the way because he most likely feels that there's a good chance that Krishan, I hope I'm pronouncing her name right, is probably might end up going back with him. So he's probably insecure about that. But we gotta see what happens in this season. Mercedes shows the new girls how to pole dance, and she ends up hurting her shoulder. So this is another sign that she's probably not gonna be able to do this for long. She ends up hurting her shoulder, and so that ends up going to be sort of a little bit of a theme of this episode. Is she able to still physically keep up with a lot of these new girls coming in? Possibly not. Mercedes, Big L makes a reference to Autumn maybe becoming bad. So there's a scene, there's a sort of a reference that Big L makes when he's talking to Mercedes about the devil was once an angel and stuff like that. So I guess that could mean a sign that maybe Autumn is probably sort of turning to more of a badder side. She's letting her new position as a co owner of the strip club maybe making her become really prideful. I guess maybe there's a pride before the fall kind of thing going on with her. So I guess we'll see with that season. That's my opinion. I think she's going to really maybe have a downfall this season. We kind of saw that a little bit at the end of this episode, but I'll get to that in a few minutes. Let's see. Andre and Kyle want the pink. Oh yeah, okay. So Andre and Kyle want basically the club, and Clifford and Autumn want to sell it for what it's really worth. So they have a sort of a war between what Clifford and Autumn feels that it should be sold for, and Andre and Kyle have other things in plan. Maybe for selling it for another type of price. So there's going to be a battle, probably I believe this season on if they're going to sell it. They probably most likely are not going to sell it, but Kyle seems a bit ruthless, so we'll see what's going on with him. Autumn has the club open early on Clifford's birthday, and he feels it's not ready. So they end up having some type of argument over that. He feels that it's just too early. It needs to be fixed up, and Autumn just decides that they need to make some money. So they argue over that. Let me see. Pastor Patrice's commercial, which is Mercedes' mom. She has a commercial for I can't really see. I don't know if that was a restaurant or maybe the church. I think yeah, it's probably the church. Yeah, that commercial was one of the worst commercials I think I've ever seen before. That was just really annoying. But yeah. So anyway, Clifford doesn't seem to like his birthday. He doesn't seem to be happy. He doesn't want to do it. He's mad that he still lives at home with his mom and he doesn't have a lover. So yeah, I think he can pretty much agree with most people in this day and age. Yeah, so he's mad about that. He's not happy that his birthday is here and he's not happy and he's lonely and stuff like that. So, most people can probably understand where he's coming from. Little Murder comes to visit Clifford, and he ends up instead talking to Clifford's mom. He knows that he's there because he see him through the mirror, and it seems like Little Murder misses him. Little Murder might. I have a feeling Little Murder might end up dying this season. Just certain things that's turning to it. In a previous episode, some guys come driving across his house, looking at him and stuff like that, giving him dirty looks, but they seem to be fans. And then his relationship. He wants to rebuild his relationship with Clifford, and it just seemed like it's just not really going to probably work out. By the time they ever actually reunite, I feel like Little Murder might end up dying. I just really don't see him really making it out this season. I hope I'm wrong because his character he can rap. I give him that, but I just don't see him really surviving this season. Andre sees childhood video with the old mayor that just died earlier in this season. So I'm not like I said. This show been off for about a year, so maybe like 2 years. So I kind of forgot about what type of relationship we may have had. I should totally rewatch the first season. I'm still going to do a review of season one of P Valley, but yeah. So they basically saw some old videos of him and the old mayor. Whatever they did, the way they set up that video, it definitely looked like something from like the 80s and the 90s. So I like the way they designed that. That was a really interesting scene. They really made it look like an actual video from, you know, it looked like an actual like real video that they made. And so I love the way they set that up. With Isaiah Washington and stuff like that. Derek goes off on Krishan. So he completely goes off on her, and I hope I'm pronouncing her name right because I really don't really know. I gotta look up her name. But anyway, he goes off on her about Diamond. Derek files a complaint against him, and Diamond was crazy to okay. Derek files a complaint against Diamond so he can lose his job. Diamond was already going crazy on some of them customers anyway. He couldn't really be able to, really allow customers to not come in without masks on. I guess that's just him. He can't, he's a bouncer. He doesn't know how to be professional. This isn't a strip club. This is a grocery store that people are kind of going to. I understand you gotta tell them not to wear a mask, but Diamond was a little wilding out there. But we know that's not why he loses his job. He loses his job because Derek basically files a complaint against him. She confronts him on his racism. So Derek ended up saying a racist. Diamond tells Krishan that Derek said a racist remark against him. He says that he would never say that, and stuff like that. I don't even remember if he even said that in the original season because, like I said, I haven't seen that season since in 2 years. I don't think he. Yeah, he did. I think he did say some racist. He did. And then he turns around. He tells her that he has a location on her phone, which is how he was able to tell where her location was at the grocery store and stuff like that. So that's kind of creepy. So now he knows wherever she's at. This guy's just, I don't know. He doesn't want her to. He doesn't want her stripping. He claims that she does it for the new house that they want to have. That's what she claims why she's stripping and stuff like that. I get a feeling that he might kill her. Honestly, I think I got a feeling Derek might end up possibly killing her, or Diamond might kill him. I'm not sure. Maybe both can happen. Maybe he ends up killing her and then Diamond kills him. One of those two, I believe, are going to happen. Maybe both. Because this dude, Derek, is really becoming more of a problem. More than full on, just, he's becoming more difficult to deal with. But I get a feeling he probably might end up dying this season, though. If Krishan doesn't be careful, she might end up possibly being killed by him. I don't know. But we'll see what's going to happen. Then there's a scene where I think that Megan Thee Stallion possibly made a cameo appearance in the studio scene where Little Murder was calling with his like producer that was in Atlanta, and then the girl comes up behind him. She has like long red hair. I don't know if that was supposed to be Megan Thee Stallion. I got a feeling it probably was possible a reference to her. I'm not sure what it was, but I think that could have been Megan Thee Stallion possibly. I don't know. Little Murder, he seems a long lost friend he meets from prison. I don't know if that was a brother or a cousin. I'm not sure who that was. Maybe I most likely was not paying attention, but it's a long lost acquaintance that he knew that is coming out of prison. And I don't know who this person might be. I don't know if they might be a good influence on Little Murder, but we'll see from the previews of the next episode. It seemed like he might be a bad influence on Little Murder. Little Murder is already constantly in tension and stuff like that with certain people. So, maybe this person might not be a good influence for him to be around. Maybe this person might not be accepting of his closeted lifestyle, possibly. So, I think some of that might be issues going on there with Little Murder with his new guy. He meets from out of prison, his relative or friend or whoever this guy is. Derek seems to have convinced Krishan not to go on tour with Rome. So he seems to have convinced him because I guess Derek was supposed to be getting his new job, whatever like that. Derek claimed he doesn't like the way that Little Murder looks at her and stuff like that. So he's just pretty much trying to make up any reason to have control over her so she doesn't go on tour. The Pink reopens, and in reality, everyone is. Oh yeah, the scene where basically the club reopens. I'm just looking at everybody partying. I'm like, this totally looked like everybody would have ended up getting COVID like the next day. Like just seeing everybody in there partying. One of the strippers even actually they put a mask on. It's like that whole scene looks so insane. Just to think like that could never. Well, of course things are opening up now, but it just seemed like unrealistic that if this season is supposed to take place back in 2020, this would never be. I don't even think this would even be going on in 2021. But in reality, everybody would have got COVID. Everybody would have got sick the next day. But anyway, it's a TV show, so suspend your disbelief. The new stripper Whisperer, she may be a psychic. She seems like she has a feeling that something was going on in the room that they had the shootout in the last season. So she's like some type of weird psychic type chick with contact lenses in her eyes, looking like Hobson. So I don't know what's going on with her though, but she seemed like she might be suspecting something is going on. There's like a weird supernatural element going on in this season. Later on this episode, Diamond he does some weird voodoo stuff to fix Mercedes' arm. We'll get into that though, but so it's a weird sort of I don't know like a I don't know what's going on this season, but it got a weird spiritual vibe going on here, like a witchcrafty vibe. I don't know. Somebody seemed like they were stalking Clifford outside of his mom's house, and then Clifford leaves out and he gets kidnapped. Now, at first, I thought Kyle may have had something to do with this because, he's getting trouble trying to get Clifford to sell the club, but it ends up actually being his birthday party that they take him to. So that was pretty good. I didn't want anything bad to happen to Clifford, so I'm happy nothing happened to him. Autumn seemed like she's having trouble in this episode with controlling the club. Including the new girl, Big Bone, is on the bar dancing and stuff like that. She ain't supposed to be doing that. Let me see. She might have hit off more than she. Definitely, she seemed like she may have bit off more than she could chew in this episode. Autumn. She was just maybe been a little in over her head. She wasn't able to really control the club like she wanted to. So yeah, she kind of seemed like she's getting really big headed, always constantly throwing around how she's a co-owner and stuff like that. She's kind of getting a little bit arrogant there, so I feel like there's a good chance that Autumn might end up having a bit of a downfall this season. She might have probably did more than what she was probably doing too much this episode. So we'll see what's going on with Autumn. Uh, he's still thinking at Clifford's party. He seemed like he's still thinking about Little Murder, even though he saw. I don't know if Little Murder was there at the party. I guess there was some guy that looked like him, but he's still thinking about Little Murder. Still wants to get back with him. Whisper might find out something is going on from last season. So I get the feeling Whisper, the new stripper girl, she might possibly end up finding out something's going on there. But we'll see. I think she might probably spot something going on from the previous season, from the shootout that happened, from the guy that got killed. I forgot his name. There's a chance that she might possibly find out. I think so. I don't know. She's a weird psychic type of girl or whatever. Clifford is pushed by his friends to go after to still be with Little Murder and stuff like that. Let me see more. But then again, they're gonna find out that it was just some guy at a party that looked like Little Murder. But basically, he's still being pushed to reconnect with Little Murder and stuff like that. So most likely, he might reunite somewhere in this season, I believe. Even though I still feel like Little Murder might end up dying this season, or probably maybe end up going to jail. I don't know. But anyway, back at the club, the new recruits, Roulette and Whisper, whatever, how you pronounce her name, Whisper, they pretty much steal the show. And they steal the thunder from Mercedes. So definitely you can tell this season she's sort of losing a lot more of her star power. Plus, she's having physical issues with her shoulder. When she gets on pole and she ends up falling off, I thought she probably may have broken something, but surprisingly, she survived it. They were able to pick her up and take her back to, I guess, Diamond's place or whatever, and Diamond comes through and he's able to do some type of weird witchcrafty stuff. I don't know what he did, but he was able to help Mercedes. And it goes back to the name of the episode. She felt like her shoulder was heavy. Felt it was 7 pounds of pressure on her shoulder, and he says, "Oh, it just takes 7 pounds to pull a trigger," and so they were connecting all that stuff together. So basically, her pain is connected to the shooting from the last season. So that's pretty interesting. Mercedes blames it on Autumn. Autumn wants the ring. Autumn wants the ring from the crime scene, but Diamond feels that it's going to be his and her protection. Basically, I guess he feels that this is some type of voodoo thing where he has to protect the ring, even though it's evidence from a murder. He feels like he has to keep it in order to protect them from I guess, some type of spiritual protection or whatever. I don't know. I didn't think Diamond was on some weird witchcrafty stuff. Whatever the heck he's on, whatever it is, he's on some weird stuff. But he was able to use it to help Mercedes in her arm. So I don't know. So we find out that basically the pain that she had from her arm is really just trauma from basically the shootout that they had from at the end of last season. So that's interesting. I didn't think that would be the issue. I just thought that she was getting too old to be stripping, but I guess not. Diamond loses his grocery store. He loses a grocery store job, we find out, and he doesn't seem like he's too keen on coming back to the Pink Club. So I'm not sure where he might end up. He might probably still go back later on, but I'm not sure yet. Or he might find another job. But yeah, he completely lost his grocery store bouncer job, so I guess he just out of work for now. I could see Diamond possibly going back to the club though. I could see it. Mercedes kicks Autumn out of her house after this whole ordeal with the arm and her shoulder and stuff like that. And like I said, it seemed like things were just completely falling apart for Autumn. Like I said, I think she was getting a little too big headed these last 2 episodes, and maybe she needs to be humbled. Maybe she might have a downfall this season. Like I said, when Big L says that, the devil was once an angel and stuff like that, it could be a reference to her pride before her downfall, possibly. I believe clearly that might be what's going on with her. Derek didn't get his job though, but Krishan ends up convincing him to let her go on tour, so that's pretty good. So she gets to go on tour with Little Murder, and let's see, Autumn, of course, actually she gets the feeling she might have to possibly return back to the pole. She's not really seeing what she's doing that well as a co-owner, so she might have to go back to where she came from, eat some humble pie. She still has it though. She's still able to strip. She get on a pole. She still could dance and stuff like that. Andre spots her, and they talk a little bit about business before they embrace. They still might have a possible romance between those two, Andre and Autumn. I really feel like there might be still some going on between them two. They might have a still connection or whatever like that. Most likely they might reconnect somewhere later on the season. I believe it's obvious they look like they're gonna get back together. And then, like I said, Krishan, she goes on tour, but I wonder how long is she going to be able to do that before her abusive boyfriend decides to track her down and really mess that up. So yeah, this episode was a really good one. I liked it, a lot of twists and turns, stuff like that. I thought Clifford was going to get hurt, but everything ended up turning out to be pretty good though. Like I said, I still think Little Murder might possibly die this season. Diamond, I'm not sure what he's going to do. I could see him going back to the Pink working. Autumn, most likely she's going to have to be humbled this season. She's getting a little too arrogant, bragging about how she's the co-owner, but you know, most likely I could probably see her either going back to stripping or maybe releasing being the co-owner of the Pink. Kyle, he looked like he's doing whatever he can to get back control over this, not get back control, but probably take the club. So yeah, and these new strippers, Roulette and Whisper, they seem like they're going to take this steal Mercedes Thunder. She really didn't want new people to come in, but it looked like them and that Big Bone girl is going to take her spot. So yeah, this was a good episode though. Yeah, I really liked it. If you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, share the video, do all that stuff. But yeah, this was a good episode, and I can't wait to see the next one. Yeah, thanks. See you guys.